Good morning. Welcome to Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. It's up to your own due diligence to find out what works for you. Take a look quickly at Ethereum. Ethereum is up 3.26% today, continuing on the nice run it started yesterday. And Bitcoin is up about 3.9% today, continuing on its big run. It's now gone over $70,000. And I had to get rid of all of my covered call options this morning. And that is the story with Bitcoin. So we go over here to our S&P 500 heat map. See what is bouncing this way. A lot of them are pulling back, except continue to do all right, along with Visa. Eli Lilly, Boeing continues up today. Meta and Google are up as well. So that is the story with our heat map. Tesla is down, GM, Ford are down. So let us go over to, I got this special chart. This just kind of shows you how this kind of performed. The blue line here is guaranteed interest. It actually has beaten the market as well. From a $100,000 investment in 1998 is worth 151, 269. This is an annuity, only goes annuity or in index universal life insurance policy. It only goes up when the market goes up, stays flat when the market goes down, and continues to rise. So a $100,000 investment in that is now worth 191,000, whereas the market has fluctuated. So if you said stayed the course, as a lot of investors are told by mutual fund companies or their financial advisor, you would have gone from 100 to 137, gone down to 78, gone up to 145, pulled back to 100, and you're only back at 137,000. This was as of 2012. Now there's a big run in the market from 2009 to 2019, so need to get an updated chart on this, but this is kind of a good example. So if you built up your wealth, you spent a lifetime building it up, and you don't want something like this to happen, which it could potentially happen with all of the kind of the bad news, all the credit card debt, all the bank debt, and what have you. There is a lot of risk out there. So that is the story with that chart. Now let us go over to our daily charts. I'm going to go over here. This is our stock of the day morning. Interesting that this is a company that Thomas Edison used to make the glass for his light bulbs. And it is breaking out right here, up nearly 7.5% today. So that is Corning. So let us go to the dollar. The dollar just continues its strength, up 0.2% today. Silver tried to move up and is at its low, but it's still up 1.43%. Gold is moving on up here. Copper, it's pretty flat today. The strongest one in copper seems to be Southern Copper, SCCO, it's up 0.38% today. Look at uranium, it's pulling back today. Denison Mines, pulling back as well. Look at the commodity index, and it falls further below its 50-day moving average. I'm not sure if platinum is actually doing pretty well. Tried to break out on this pivot here. Kind of like a penny stock, but this is Platinum Group Metals in the Amex exchange. So it is pulling back, still up pretty close to 1% today. Let us go over to our bond yields. Along with the dollar, they just keep on surging, up another 1.19% today, up to 4.33% on the yield. Take a look at the bonds. They continue selling off. The 20-year yield is up 1.62%. Yeah, these are definitely like a cup with a handle here. There's a handle and takes off like a rocket. Take a look at the VIX. The VIX is trying to get above 20 and then pull back slightly, off 3.62%. S&P 500 is bouncing off the 20-day moving average up 0.12%. The equal weight in the RSP is pulling back 0.16%. The NASDAQ is up slightly 0.67%. And the equal weight in the NASDAQ is up as well, up 0.42%. IWM. Now that's more like it. Yesterday it bounced when the yields rose, and now it is off 0.65%. But I was looking at Elf Beauty today, and it is diverging. It's up 3.46%. I do have those options on, have the bearish or bullish put spread, shorting the 110s and buying the 105. So right now it's in the money. It got up there a couple of times, got up to 115, pulled back, then got up to 116, and then pulled back, and now we're above that market again. So that is the story with Elf Beauty. So let us go to the Dow Jones. Dow Jones is down as well. Look at the subsectors. Industrials, pretty close to flat. Look at China. Big move yesterday, pulling back slightly. JD and Futu kind of looked the same yesterday. Interesting, Futu continues strong, up 2.36%. Financials, pretty flat. Communications, up 0.75 with both Google and Meta doing well. Looks like it's about to break out of its pivot here. Utilities is pulling back. I would expect real estate sell off, home builders, big gap down. We got semiconductors rising today, up 1.69%. Pulling back in the consumer discretionary. Biotech, pulling back as well. Infrastructure. Healthcare. No, this is consumer staples, I'm sorry. This is healthcare. And pretty flat, pulling back. Retail. Look at the banking. It is a strong move yesterday, pulling back slightly today, up 0.75 and 0.63%. Insurance pulling back as well. Leisure activities are kind of leading. RCL, look at that big strong move. Kind of tried to bounce yesterday, pulled back to the 10-day, and then back this morning, getting close to the 20-day and just surged 3.43%. Recent IPO, Viking, holding up pretty well. Take a look at Jets. Bouncing off of the 10-day. Look at energy, continue to sell off. Drillers continue to pull back. And just trying to look at oil pricing. Leaving me for the moment. We'll come back to it if I can remember. Fang Yu, Nice bounce there of 4.11%. And I think that's where we'll leave it. Now we'll go over to our news. Ford Motor, Q3 net income 900 million or 22 cents per share compared with 1.2 billion or 30 cents per share year over year. They didn't like that as it gapped down nearly 9% today. Boot Barn, Q2 EPS reported in line at 95 cents on better sales, 425.8 million versus consensus of 423.3. And they didn't like this one as well, as it's down pretty close to 20%. Moving on to Camping World. Camping World Q3 adjusted EPS 13 cents versus 11 cents. They like this a lot better, as it's up close to 9%, as it clears a 200-day moving average on huge volume. Volume was pretty good towards the end of the day yesterday, and that is the story of Camping World. Keurig Dr. Pepper said top shareholder German investment firm JAB holding to sell about 60 million shares of KDP at $32.85 per share. The offer price is at a 3% discount to KDP stock as of Monday's close. Under Leggett & Platt, Q3 adjusted EPS 32 cents versus 33 cents. And you'd think that'd go down, and initially it did, but now it's rising 6.33%, maybe forward-looking results of this one. Look at Royal Caribbean. Q3 adjusted EPS $5.20 versus $5.01. Yeah, that will get you to rise a bit, up 3.37%. Stanley Black & Decker, Q3 adjusted EPS $1.22 versus consensus of $1.05. And they are gapping down about 8%. They're trying to fight back, but they're still down heavily. Earnings up 16%. Trex, Q3 adjusted EPS 37 cents versus 32 cents. Is definitely rising. It cleared the 50-day moving average. That might have been an early signal to buy. And it, look at all this volume, blue volume, 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row. Earnings were down 35%. But it definitely beat on estimates and on sales. BF Corporation used to be here in Alameda, but it moved to Denver, Colorado. Q2 adjusted EPS 67 cents versus 37 cents. A big gap up. Earnings came in a negative 5%, but it is up 23%. On revenues of 2.8 billion versus estimate of 2.7 billion. So that is a big move there, up 22.95% on energy, industrials, and materials. Boeing announces offering 112,500,000 shares of company at public offering price of 143 per share. Stock is bouncing up 1.83%. Usually something like that would dilute people and you would have a sell-off, but not today. Let us over to Champion Homes. Q2 EPS 93 cents versus 81 cents. Off marginally, down 1.98% on kind of marginal volume. Earnings up 13% year over year quarter. Brain Incorporated Q3 adjusted EPS $1.38 above consensus of $1.32, and it is rising up nearly 5% on some pretty good volume 2 days in a row. Earnings up 34%. Element Solutions Q3 adjusted EPS 39 cents versus 38 cents. And even though it was just a penny, it is up 4.61% today, makes a broad range of specialty chemicals used in electronics, metal, and plastic plating. And on to Flowserve. Q3 adjusted EPS 62 cents versus estimate of 67 cents, pulled back to the 50-day moving average and bounce. It's up 2.87%, go figure. And NextEra Energy announces that it intends to sell 1.5 billion of equity units. It is gapping down on that. And this is actually a case where people don't like to be diluted. So on to financials. Brixmor Property, quarter three FFO a share, 52 cents versus 52 cents. It is down 1.19%. Kilroy Realty, quarter three FFO a share, $1.17 versus $1.05. And it is down a little over 1%. REG Regency Centers, quarter three FFO a share, $1.07 versus $1.04. Gaps up, and it's kind of in the lower range of its gap up 1.83%. On to healthcare. Encompass Health, quarter three EPS $1.07 versus 94 cents. Gaps up on the lower range of its gap up. It's up 6.61%. It doesn't quite have the volume on the sell-off yesterday, but you can't have everything, can you? Nari, this is somebody we profiled IPO in 2020, quarter three EPS negative 31 cents versus estimate of negative 11 cents. Revenues of 153.39 million versus estimate of 150.7 million. I think it's gapping up on the revenue, up 11.68%. Their earnings declined 720% year-over-year quarter. Transmedics Group shares tumbled. Quarter three EPS 12 cents versus 29 cents. Yeah, that would cause things to fall, down 30%. And off to Procept. Biorobotics announces 175 million common stock offering. Had a big gap up yesterday on its earnings, and it continues up again today, up 3.91%. On to technology, media, and telecom. Agilicis Incorporated, quarter two adjusted EPS 34 cents versus estimate of 30 cents. Initially tried to rise and then just completely sold off. It's off pretty close to 8%. Amcor Technologies, quarter three EPS 49 cents versus estimate 50. Gaps down, trying to fight back to get close to where it was yesterday, off 7.45%. Cadence Design Systems, quarter three EPS $1.64. Tops consensus of $1.44, and quarter three revenue of 1.215 billion, beat consensus of 1.18 billion. Got a gap up, and it's near its high of the day, 13%. CCC Intelligent Solutions, quarter three adjusted EPS 10 cents versus 9 cents. It sold off, then rose, and it's right in the middle of its range, up 0.27% today. F5 Networks authorizes additional $1 billion for share buyback program. Quarter four adjusted EPS $3.67 versus estimate of $3.45. Big gap up there on the low of its gap, but it's still up 10% for the day. Huge volume. Look at the volume, just kept growing every day. Right in along the 20-day, and just gets in a rocket ship and takes off today. So on to Harmonic. Quarter three EPS 26 cents versus 22 cents. Wow, look at that big drop off, even though it beat. Its earnings up almost 1,000% year-over-year quarter. Beat estimates 26 cents versus estimate of 22 cents. Quarter three revenues 195.8 million versus 181.89. Reported a backlog and deferred revenue of 584.7 million. Guides quarter four EPS 33 to 39 cents versus 35. So I guess that backlog is what has people concerned. Rambus, quarter three EPS 45 cents versus 51 cents. You would think this would be selling off, but no, it's rising, up 12.14% today. Earnings up 125%. SBA Communications, quarter three AFFO a share, $3.32 versus $3.31. It is selling off, tried to move higher, and then the sales clicked in, 2.77% decline. And finally, we end with Nokia. It announced it signed a multi-year patent license agreement with HPQ, covering the use of Nokia's video technology in AP's devices. And it has been rising here, broke out of a pivot, a little bit of a profit taking today, down 1.21%. Take a look at HPQ. It's pulling back a little bit here, down 0.43%. But let us go over to our daily work. Find out what's up 10%, 200% increase in volume. Here we got Harmony Bioscience, which we just looked at. Opera ADR, I believe this was a Norwegian company. Definitely broke out here out of the pivot of almost 11%. Designs and develops web browsers for mobile phones and PCs. Hit 92% new high on the S&P 500. Earnings came in at up 34%. Commvault Systems, big rise up close to 21%. Pretty good volume. We'll just adjust this here. You can see volume was strong yesterday, where it came up a little bit and then it just kept rising. Gene DX Holdings, earnings coming at 105% increase year over year quarter. And look at that, nearly up 50% for the day. F5 we just looked at. Tenet Healthcare bouncing 12% today after a big sell-off. Earnings came in at 103%. ESAB produces welding and cutting equipment, consumables, and solutions for all industries. Breaks out of a pivot today. It's up 11.36% on a 16% increase in earnings year over year quarter. 2 days of increasing blue bars right there. Something to take note of. We looked at Rambus. Trump Media and Telecom just continues to rise. A lot of people think that this is going to soften if he gets elected. If he doesn't get elected, some people are even predicting it may go to 0. So this is on look at cadence. Shutterstock bounces up to the 50-day moving average, up 11.34% and 4% year over year quarter earnings. And this is VF Corp we looked at in the news. And finally, Nari, which we looked at in the news as well. So that is a story there. Let's just go over what we're currently doing. Currently big holding at the moment. BitX. We had covered calls at 35. We've removed them all. It's now above 36. Looks like it's trying to clear the 200-day moving average. We'll see if Bitcoin can get to new highs. iBit is rising quite a bit as well, up 4.76%. BitX is up about 10% on the day. We also have MicroStrategy, which is a Bitcoin. It just continues extending its lead as well. And this is Cores, which produces Bitcoin as well, and some other infrastructure, hosting, transaction processing solutions. Getting mighty close to this green profit zone. So I'll continue to watch that one. This is the other one that we really like. After a big move yesterday, got a little bit of a pullback here off 0.29%. We have a spread of 22 to 30. So we'll just continue holding that one. Go back to Elf Beauty. Strong move, a little over 3% today. Really needs to clear this 50-day moving average. Celsius the other option that we have on. It's pulling back a little bit, 0.83%, but it still remains in a pretty tight area. Not a whole lot of selling, not a whole lot of buying. Just waiting to see if we can get a breakout here. And I believe that'll wrap it up for Taco Tuesday. Go out there and support your favorite taco truck and continue working on your goals and your activities. We can help you with any of your financial goals or activities. Please let us know. This is Mornings with Michael, designed to help you make your money work harder than you do. So our portfolio is up over 40% for the year. We continue to strive to make that better. And if we can help you get anywhere close to your goals, please let us know. But remember, what we do here, we just share with you. If it's right or not for you, you need to do your own due diligence to find if it fits in with your goals and your activities. In the meantime, have a great week. Not sure how often we'll be programming moving forward, as we're going to take a step back for a little bit, but we definitely will check in with you. And in the meantime, go out there, be well, make everybody proud, and continue exceeding your goals.